Hey guys, before we get into this video, I just want to make sure everyone knows that these videos were actually recorded before the most recent leaks from Dragon Ball Super that we got on June 15th, 2017. With that being said, I try to make it very clear in this video that these are just speculations and theories and the leaks aren't necessarily true. Also, the new leaks, while they don't necessarily confirm exactly the original leaks that we got, they don't necessarily deny them either, so it's still open for debate in my opinion. But with that being said, I hope you guys do enjoy the video, and if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Just I'm putting this disclaimer out there for everyone who knows I'm not necessarily going off of new information. These were recorded several days ago. So I hope everyone enjoys the video. Hey YouTubers, I hope you're enjoying the content. Before we get to today's video, I want everyone to go hit that bell over by the subscriber button so you're notified every single time I upload. Enjoy the video. Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussions theory / speculation video. I am once again joined by two of my favorite YouTubers, and introducing them in order we have in the red corner. Okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. That's stupid. MJ from GeeklistTV. MJ, why don't you say hello first?
So am I gonna fight Golden Scouter in this video? Is that what you're indicating here?
Royal Rumble.
I'm pretty sure I would lose.
Royal Rumble.
But thank you for having me back on the channel, bro. This dude. Do you want me to cut a promo on you? I do not fear Golden Scouter. I'm telling you, bro. But yeah, thank you for having me back on the channel.
No. Save that for the next debate. Anyway, the next one we have is Golden Scouter, or Kevin. Why don't you say hello to everyone?
What's up, everyone? And also, can you smell what the Golden Scouter is cooking?
This dude.
Yes, because you make those awesome videos. Anyway, guys, we're gonna be talking about a little theory that I came up with the other day when we were doing I guess I was doing a video with Kyokai, and I was like, oh man, wouldn't this be awesome? So if the leaks are to be believed at this point, we have what, a couple more episodes, and eventually who he is, or who is him, you know, it's him. Look, the way that this whole arc has basically been building up to is it's gonna be Yamcha. We all know it's gonna be Yamcha. As much as we like to sit around and basically speculate on anyone else it could definitely possibly be, it's going to be Yamcha. And that's a little bit more of a bummer than a lot of people might expect. I mean, considering the fact that we could have had Boo, or we could have had Frieza, or anybody else, it could potentially be Yamcha. And you're wondering at some level, like, why is that? Well, MJ's basically made a video on it. It's like, is Universe 7 two hacks? And I think that's absolutely true. I think they are kind of two hacks, so kind of evening the playing field would possibly be pretty cool. But here's what I'm suggesting, because I think it would pop a lot of the freaking fan base. It would cause so many debates and just completely uproot almost everything we know about the show for at least a couple weeks, and throw us all under the bus as soon as it does, and we would actually laugh about it sometime in the future. But with that being said, I want basically Frieza to jump ship, however he ends up jumping ship, not fighting for Universe 10, and then they go, but Goku goes, well, I guess we don't have 10 people, like, I don't know who else to call on, so yeah, that's fine, like, I guess we're all gonna get erased, ha ha ha, like, or, you know, something like that, where it's like, oh no, like, basically down to the wire, they're going to get erased or something. And then Whis just like, oh, okay, give me a minute, I'll be right back. And then like he disappears for basically like a second, and he comes back with Yamcha. And everyone's like, it's Yamcha, Yamcha. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's Yamcha. And then, so what starts happening is they get to the tournament, and what we see is Yamcha just start wrecking shop. I mean, like, this is god level Yamcha. Everyone's favorite meme, god level Yamcha, basically wrecking shop, being the MVP of Universe 7, completely out of the blue. No one necessarily knows how he's competing at such a level until the very end when Universe 7 is disqualified, because it's been made very apparently clear that instead of Yamcha, they've put some kind of godly disguise or something in order to make Yamcha into, or Trunks into Yamcha. So future Trunks is now Yamcha for at least a little bit, where he can compete with Universe 7 just to make sure that they win. And that's revealed later on. So we get those couple fights or those couple weeks where everyone's speculating how much stronger Yamcha actually got, and if whether or not like he's actually god tier level for whatever reason, and all this other stuff. So, guys, I know that's really fucking crazy, but what are your thoughts on it?
Who goes first?
MJ.
Me?
MJ. Yeah.
The best part of this whole entire theory is the fact that, myself included, we all would have to make videos on power scaling Yamcha. Why is he so strong? Have to like bring up evidence to support that maybe he does train in his off time. But I mean, it would just be amazing. And plus, this is like the icing on the cake. Can you imagine those episode titles? Episode 200. Enter Yamcha versus Topo. Like that. That would be so fucking amazing. But like, just thinking about it, it's so funny. Also, when we get to the reveal, I hope they do something where like it's Yamcha, right? But then the disguise wears off and it's Trunks. But then Trunks, like, there's like smoke, and then like you zoom down and it shows Oolong, and then Oolong does the zipper and reveals himself, and it's Bugs Bunny, and then Super like officially breaks the fourth wall. I'm just kidding. I'm going all over the place.
You made me snort.
Oh, like those Scooby Doo. Those Scooby Doo reveals where it's just like one person after the other. Like,
Yikes, Reggie! I would have gotten away with it too
but
if it wasn't for those meddling Universe 7 people.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I took this into like a real goofy route. So basically, it would be interesting for this reason. And what Real was talking about earlier was the supposed leaks. I'm not too sure if we found out yet if they're completely real, but supposedly Frieza's supposed to jump ship, or at least change from one universe team to the other, and that's gonna leave Universe 7 without 10 members, and people are assuming it's Yamcha because of something with the Yamcha's voice actor saying he recorded a lot of lines, and then obviously they've been building it up. Like every other episode, there's like they show like Yamcha at his house waiting for them to come ask him, So it's like they've been building up to it, I guess, if you want to like add everything together. And if that's the case, yeah, it would be awesome. But the gag that it would actually be future Trunks, I think would probably be amazing. It would just be one of those like gag scenes, and again, it would just be cool to kind of see like the Yamcha character. I mean, we may know it's Trunks later in the arc, but to see like the Yamcha form, Yamcha fighting like Topo and Jiren fighting Hit, just stuff like that. Like I could just imagine like when Goku's like watching over and he sees Hit going up against Yamcha, and like Hit's like this wolf fang fist, and it even rivals the time skip, and then someone's like, well, he did beat Goku with that move. Like call back to the Dragon Ball.
Like the whole community is trying to like basically justify this. Like
it would just, and then the end of the episode is just like Yamcha with the wolf fang fist pose, and then Hit with like the time skip, and it's just like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, but I think it would be awesome. The whole I think I talked to you about this off air was that, would there really be a need for them to put Trunks in the disguise though? But before we get into that, I just like, what are your thoughts, Scouter, on the idea of just Yamcha being in the Tournament of Power?
Oh man, if it was future Trunks in disguise, that would actually make a lot of sense, especially since they'd be bringing back Yamcha's sword from the very beginning of Dragon Ball. And that would actually be justification to why Yamcha's using a sword there. So there's that too. Oh my god. I mean,
that would actually work.
I mean, beside that, I don't want to see future Trunks. I want to see that disguise be pulled back, and it's Goten and Trunks in the Mighty Mask suit.
Oh my god.
That
would
going
be
in that kind of territory.
That would be fucking amazing, would it not, Real? You're the one who brought this up in one of our recent videos, which will be on my channel. We talked about the idea that the poachers, will kind of like go after Goten and Trunks, but what if Goten and Trunks find out about the Tournament of Power, so they leave the island, and then the 10th Warrior's like Mighty Mask, and no one knows, only like 18 and like Hercule, they just keep it a secret.
Like 18's just like, yeah, this guy was actually a really good fight for me in the last tournament, so we should bring him on.
Come on, let's go. Hop on.
That would be funny too. Like I would like that idea, but kind of like just jumping off. I know you have your doubts about whether or not this makes sense, MJ. But one of the things I'd like to see, I already said, basically, sometime during the tournament, figuring out that this is actually something that I guess they did and they get disqualified, or there's some kind of comeuppance for it. But another way they could take it is just kind of, play it off like, we know you think Yamcha's a joke, but Yamcha's not a joke anymore. And Yamcha's like competing with people like Jiren Topo or Frieza or, you know, any of the other people who, it doesn't even have to be some of the top tier people. He just can stand out as being one of the more helpful MVPs of the group. And then at the end of all this, it's like, well, we wouldn't have won without Yamcha. And then they go back home and they find, like, they all go home and Yamcha's like basically sitting around and they're like, yeah, Yamcha, like, thank you so much. And he doesn't understand what's going on, but Yamcha being Yamcha, he basically takes credit for it. He's like, yeah, totally, like, I'm awesome, ha ha ha. And then like it cuts to Whis, like basically, and Yamcha turns into Trunks. He's like, "Thanks for helping." He's like, "Yeah, anytime. Thank you so much." Like, and then it goes off, and no one ever knows that Trunks came back to help. And you know the one cool thing I liked about that is, in their timeline, their universe is actually in peril, and it would be interesting for Trunks to come back to save their timeline for once, like help them save their timeline instead of like desperately
It's not them
seeking.
going back to help him, right? It's him coming to help them.
Yeah, so it would play a really interesting kind of story-wise. Like, it would be interesting story-wise, but at the same time, you don't necessarily need to linger on it too much, and it's more of like a joke thing. But I don't know how many people that would piss off if they played it for like seriously and then ended up being a complete joke. Maybe a lot of people would have a problem with that. I think it would be hysterical, honestly.
It would be like the Jackie Chun equivalent of Super, you know? It's like everyone thinks Yamcha's the one who did this, and they think he's all super strong, but in fact, it was just future Trunks in disguise. That would actually be kind of cool. But I mean, the only doubts that I have with this, honestly, is the idea of them even having to dress up future Trunks to begin with, or having to create a disguise, because I was trying to, like, I guess, explain myself properly off air, and that was the idea that it doesn't, like, Beerus painted this picture, oh man, if anyone found out about this, you know, like the Omni King, or, you know, any of the higher ups, you know what I mean? I can't remember if he ever specifically mentioned the Grand Priest or not, but he, like, you know, if the Omni King finds out about the time travel stuff, you know, he'll blow everything away, you know, he'll erase all of us, you know, even me, you know what I mean? So don't tell him anything, because my life's at stake too, you know? If it was so, like, dreadful and so, like, horrible, and it was such a bad situation to where Beerus was even afraid to tell them what was going on because he was afraid of his own life, why didn't they get upset when Goku brought the second Zeno? I mean, I understand that it's supposed to be his parallel version, and Goku's giving his promise. You know, he's fulfilling his promise to Zeno by giving him a playmate, right? Like, didn't they ask questions? Didn't they ask where this guy came from? Or like, did they not? You know what I mean? And then this also goes off the theory about the video that you did on Geekdom 101's channel, which you guys can go check out. It's talking about the Pride Troopers versus Goku Black. Like, why didn't they stop them? It goes off your theory that what if there's rumors, and what if it's not just rumors? What if everyone knows that this Zeno is from a second timeline? Like, they had to tell the Gods of Destruction something, because I'm sure they asked questions, you know. If that's the case, and no one got as nearly as pissed off about the whole time travel stuff as Beerus predicted, because to our knowledge, nothing's been erased yet. It's like, why would they even care about Trunks to begin with? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. Kevin, do you have any thoughts on that before I kind of go off on this? By the way,
I mean, I don't really know if I can really add too much to it, because I basically agree with MJ that the whole thing with Beerus, like, actually fearing telling Zeno about the whole time travel aspect of future Trunks, yeah, that is a very major hole in, like, why it might not happen.
Well, I mean,
even though as much as I would want it
I just want to emphasize this, though, before we all start talking over each other. I agree where you're coming from, but I don't necessarily see the point. When you talk about the only thing that basically came from that arc, and yes, they might have rumors, they might want answers, they might want all this stuff, but don't forget, it's Zeno. They brought back another Zeno to play with Zeno. Nobody, not Beerus, not any of the Gods of Destruction, the Angels, or even the Grand Priest is in a position to be like, that's against the fucking rules. like
basically,
it's like, and Zeno in the future destroyed an entire timeline because of everything that was going on. Not just because, and it wasn't just because, you know, at least I hope to think it wasn't just because Zamasu was trying to become an entire universe, so much as it's like, there's just, everything has gone wrong in this universe. Like, there's no reason for this universe to even exist anymore. The time travel rule has been broken. The Gods of Destructions are dead. The angels are nullified. There's no gods of creation in the universe. Yada yada yada. Bye. And so if Goku shows up with another Zeno for Zeno to be Zeno's playmate, and considering the main timeline Zeno's admiration for Goku, I just don't see that ever really coming up in any way that's hurtful for Zeno or anybody, or even Goku, because it's like, who's going to punish him? Like, they might be mad, but it's not like Zeno from our timeline, the main timeline, is going to be like, yeah, kill that guy. Like, because he wants Goku to win. He considers him a good friend. And with that being said, though, like, the rules are still in place, and there's, to me, is nothing has been done to contradict those rules, considering the fact that if they do bring back Trunks, they're going to need to be secretive about it. Because at this point, at least future Zeno should know who Trunks is.
Well, see, that's what I was going to tell Scouter, that he may agree with me, but I was going to bring up something to kind of counter myself here. Because I have counters for my own little, my own little theory here, whatever it was. The fact that, I mean, because I mentioned earlier, did Beerus ever actually specifically say Grand Priest, or did he just say Zeno? Because, like, let's say, because the whole point was, like, Beerus was just so freaking scared of the idea of Zeno finding out about time travel and stuff. Like, what if the future Zeno just said, hey, I'm from the future, because they've been together for months. I mean, months and months. So what if at one time he just said, I'm from the future, and then President Zeno's like, you broke the rules, and like just destroys himself. But then, like, would he really do that? Like, would he really destroy himself? Does he care that much about the rules? Like, you know what I mean? And then, like, you also got to take into account that my whole little counter to this theory falls apart is the fact that maybe they didn't ask questions. Maybe Grand Priest is just like, fuck it, okay, I gotta take care of two Zenos.
I just don't. The thing is, it's like, yeah, like, Zeno seems like the type of person who gets angered really quickly, but at the same time,
would he kill himself? That's
yeah. Like, I don't think he cares when it comes to his own enjoyment. Like, if it bothers him, like if someone is bothering him, like, oh, Zamasu, stop trying to take over the universe. Like, everything's blown up. Like, yeah. Honestly, like, that's something that's like, it irked him just a little bit, but like Goku literally brought him back to play. So
yeah, like I said, I mean, I would like the gag, because it would be kind of like, like the Dragon Ball equivalent to like Chun and all that stuff, but it just comes down to, like, would they really even care to, like, to disguise him? It would be fun, though. I mean, I would love that. I would really, really, really love the Scooby-Doo part, like, where he just keeps going back and forth, and, like, a zipper, he just pulls the zipper down, and then he's like, no, I'm really Yamcha, or I'm really Trunks. Like, just fucking around with everyone. Everyone's just, like, freaked out.
Exactly. But, Scout, do you have any idea, like, any other things to put into this?
I mean, I think that Whis could actually bring back, future Trunks, because the thing is with Whis is that it always seems like that he's always neutral, but I've always had since the beginning of Super is that there's going to be that point that comes where he's not so neutral. Maybe he actually values the relationship he has with Beerus or Goku or anyone. I mean, Goku has actually won the hearts of many, many people. And so, in my opinion, maybe if Whis is actually invested in Universe 7, I think that he might actually go the extra step to actually bring future Trunks back. Because to me, yeah, and to a lot of people, it actually makes perfect sense for future Trunks to be back. Perfect sense. I've seen so many people say that future Trunks should have just stayed in the main timeline, and that would actually satisfy those fans in a very good way. And I think that this would kind of make, it would actually make way for a future arc. Because, like, what we were kind of talking about how, like, kind of unrelated to the video, but we were all talking about how the angels are kind of mysterious in a way. Even though we've been told they're angels, we don't know exactly what they are, besides maybe that they're just neutral towards whatever job they're given towards their god of destruction. That they're their attendant, and they basically have to remain unbiased and basically just kind of very logical at times. So in my opinion, I think that Whis bringing back future Trunks and kind of going against that nature, if there is that nature, would actually be kind of a good future plot point, in my opinion. But that's also kind of going into another topic as well.
I mean, I agree with that because if you look at it from, like our point of view, the power scaler's point of view, it's like they go and get someone so powerful as Frieza. Even though I know Goku has mentioned before that the tournament power is about strategy, he does also say it's about power as well. You know what I mean? It's not all about power. That's the point. So the fact that he says we need to go get someone strong like Frieza, I believe he literally states that. If Frieza somehow goes back to hell because he used up all his energy, or he used up all his time, or he goes to a different universe, whatever the reason is, Whis is gonna think to himself, what is just as good of option as Frieza, if not better? And then automatically he's gonna think of Trunks. You know what I mean? At least in his head, to ensure the fact that Universe 7 stays. Because I do agree with Scouter. I do feel like even though Whis is supposed to be neutral, I think he has kind of like fallen over that. I do love Earth. Goku is one of my students. I do care for Beerus to some degree, to the point where I don't want him to get destroyed. You know what I mean? So I do see him going that extra mile, like what Scouter was talking about.
Yeah, like I completely agree with both of those sentiments. And as we saw in the last arc, Whis would be the perfect person to do this because he was the one who shepherded Mai and Trunks to the particular timeline that they're in right now.
To go help him.
And everything. Yeah, and he could just go pick him up. And I just think, honestly, the most satisfying thing about this, outside of just having like the fun joke and just the community and Choi and Toriyama just trolling the absolute 100% shit out of us, doing something like this would actually play out in such an interesting way, because it would allow Trunks to save this timeline, or at least participate in saving this timeline instead of the other way around, even though I guess that was his ideal for going back a second time to fight Cell and the androids, was he didn't want to see the timeline basically get torn apart. But it's not necessarily the same thing. He would be literally fighting for them and only for them, and I think that would be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And if they're ever gonna bring back Trunks again, which I'm sure a lot of the fandom would actually really like to see, this would probably be the best way to do it. Just giving him a reason to fight for Universe 7 in the main timeline instead of actually fighting for his own timeline that he's living in now. Considering now that he should be living in a semblance of peace in his life, and there shouldn't be anything that could really stand up to him. So this is probably the perfect time, and a perfect joke in my opinion, and just something that everyone could probably get behind after all is said and done, even if people would be a little bit mad about it. And whether or not they play it off as they know by the end of it that it's Trunks, or they never know and they just consider Yamcha just a freaking hero, which I think would be funnier. I think it would be so funny if they just consider Yamcha a fucking hero, and then Yamcha just takes that cue to be like, yeah, but I'm totally retiring now. I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Don't even ask.
I like how in this video, me and Scouter fought at the beginning, and then on top of fighting, we had some laughs, we had some tears, we debated. It went all serious, and now it's come down to this.
Yeah. I mean, if future Trunks does come back and his identity is revealed at least to someone, I really hope that someone is Gohan and Gohan only. And I hope that Trunks actually tells Gohan, yeah, I've been doing good in my timeline, and then they actually show us what happened after he traveled back over there. And finally we can get some closure for that. Finally.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome. It would be, remember in episode, I would love this. Now, Scouter, you're fucking genius. I would love this. Because remember in episode 52, the Gohan that Trunks saw, I mean, he's still Gohan, but this is, I guess, quote-unquote, a different Gohan. Even Goku mentioned, you're fighting since his back. A few hours of training did you good, you know what I mean? So he'll be seeing a more buffed up, more serious version of Gohan. So he'll probably be seeing a Gohan that reminds him more of the Gohan that he knew. And it would be cool, and the same Gi, and it would be cool if they had, a small little convo with maybe them just, Gohan be the only one who knows. Kind of like how, Tien is the only one who knows, right, about Chun. They think that would be a cool little callback. So you have Gohan there, and you get what Scott was talking about, a flashback scene. Remember in episode 52, you had that scene with future Trunks, Bulma, and Mai. It was what he envisioned his world being if Black hadn't come. Imagine you get that same scenario, maybe the similar house, but instead you have Trunks, Mai, and their kid. I think that would be really badass. That would be a cool scene, So he kind of got to live that piece, he got to get to that piece,
Yeah, that would be actually pretty epic. Guys, instead of making this video that much longer, I think I'm going to call it.
Call it a
Please
podcast,
make
bro.
sure.
Let's go another 30 minutes. You want to, Scouter?
No.
An hour.
No.
An hour.
Anyway, guys, anyone who's watching, thank you for listening. I think we came up with some pretty fun, funny, emotional, interesting arguments where it came down to like, yeah, like we did kind of disagree with each other and all that other stuff. We kind of came to a consensus of it would be cool, but probably unlikely. And with all that being said, please make sure to go check out MJ and Golden Scouter if you haven't already. Their links will be in the description section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video, and hit that bell for notifications every time I upload. And with that being said, guys, we hope y'all like the theory, and we're going to catch y'all in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.